We will now move on to the final proposal, which appeared as number 8 in the proxy statement. It was submitted by the National Center for Public Policy Research. Mr. Scott Shepard, representing the shareholder proponent, pre-recorded his presentation of the proposal, which we will now play.
The Business Roundtable, a club for wealthy CEOs, declared in 2019 that it had redefined the corporate purpose. It said the purpose had shifted from the traditional and legally required rule of shareholder primacy to a new theory of stakeholder capitalism. Under it, CEOs and boards of directors would supposedly run the company for the benefit of all stakeholders, meaning for everyone. In theory, that sounds great. In fact, it creates mountains of trouble for shareholders and for all legitimate stakeholders. The key to these problems is that it's impossible for company executives at Walmart or elsewhere to make decisions that legitimately capture all stakeholder interests, since stakeholders have divergent interests. We know that stakeholders, essentially everyone, don't seek the same goals because we know how profound our social, political, and economic divisions, especially these days. There are just no decisions that honestly enact the will of all stakeholders. Even if there were, that's not what our CEO and company even attempt to do. The company does not poll all stakeholders, feed the results into some objective decision process, and then enact the result. Instead, the Business Roundtable, which our CEO chairs, enabled shifting to stakeholder capitalism to allow CEOs and boards of directors to act like masters of the universe, doing anything they wished. They would then post hoc ascribe their actions to some set of stakeholders who were said to have demanded exactly what they decided to do. That's how it's already working. Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan wrote a set of stakeholder capitalism metrics he wants all companies to adopt. They include no provisions for measuring real stakeholder preferences. Rather, they force compliance with Moynihan's preferred policies, like radical carbon reductions that will have no real-world effect given India and China's continuing carbon increases, but will cost all of us dearly. BlackRock votes investor proxies to favor Larry Fink's private interests, not objectively measured stakeholder interests. The problem for shareholders is clear. Under current law, management must act in the objective best interest of shareholders. The new theory substitutes executive whim for shareholder interests. It also disadvantages all legitimate stakeholders. Their interests are best represented by decisions that make shareholder value, which is the long-term value of Walmart, primary. Employees, customers, and communities want Walmart to survive forever, which requires keeping the company strong, paying appropriately, and keeping long-term good relations with communities. Stakeholder capitalism would also create massive legal costs for Walmart, since pronouncements by CEO lunch clubs don't change fiduciary duties. Shareholder primacy is the law. Acting otherwise will rightly create huge legal liability. Stakeholder capitalism is either a fraud or a massive mistake. Either way, Walmart should carefully consider all of its implications and consider stepping away. Vote yes on proposal number 8.